4.5 million children are at risk today in Guatemala. Our partner Refuge International is starting to reach those kids with antiparasitics. Vitamin Angels is now coming forward with multiple vitamins and vitamin A and prenatals to help support this effort, and we're encouraged and looking forward to additional support to really expand this program. This is a huge opportunity. This is the poorest country in Central America, and we really want to make a huge difference in these children's lives.
We did a study associated with Yale University. In one village, 85% of the children had 3 types of worms in their system. We feel that if we can successfully launch this program for 4 years, that the government of Guatemala will take over the program and continue the deworming because the culture will demand it. The population will be educated by that time and see the results, the dramatic results that we have seen in their own children, and demand that this become part of a national project.
Hay que comer, a veces no hay, tenemos que aguantar.
Because of the weather, they sometimes lose their crops, and then when they don't have a whole lot to eat, they just have to suffer through it. And when it doesn't rain and they can't put a crop in, they have to suffer through it. Several years ago, we took a trip to the top of a mountain to a small village called Blue Creek. We noticed that the children were in terrible shape. Their hair was falling out. They were thin, but with large stomachs. We gave them albendazole to deparasitize them, to kill the worms. We went back 6 months later. Their hair was thick and full. The children were jumping around and healthy from one small pill.
We set up to do a distribution here for prenatals, for children's multiples, and for antiparasitics, and made the announcement, but honestly, you're never sure who's going to come. But we just looked up, and down the road you see a whole throng of people, and this is the 4th or 5th wave that's come here, and the community center is now filling up with people who have walked for miles. I mean, some of these people have walked 2 or 3 miles to come here. We've chosen a central location, but still, this is such a unpopulated area that people have to walk quite a ways, but they're coming because they want their kids to be healthy.
Sí, mejor que coman los niños sino uno. Prefiere uno aguantar y los...
She said that they all try to eat the same when there's less food, but when there's really not enough for everybody, the adults can stand the hunger more than the kids, and they'd rather have their children survive.
Acostumbramos a pobremente, sí. Aunque sea poquito, pero...
She said they're very accustomed to being poor, and this is just how they live. You know, they're not afraid of it, it's just the way they are.
What we're seeing here today is that the people want their children to be healthy. We showed up today, they made one announcement, and people just kept coming. I think there were 1,000 children, mothers, and babies here today, and everybody just is attentive and really listening about what they need to get their kids healthy. So this is the kind of community where they just need some help, and they're ready to start making changes to get their kids healthier. Hola.
This child is an excellent example of what a child looks like who is full of parasites. His hair gets really thin and starts to fall out. His mother said his hair used to be jet black and thick, but he starts to go blonde and fall out. His little legs and arms become really, really thin, but the stomach is full and fat. That's parasites. We're giving out vitamins to pregnant mothers, nursing mothers, and children that don't go to school, so that they don't miss the chance of getting their vitamins. We're also giving out deworming medicine to the children who didn't get it in March, because we gave worm pills to all the children in the school in March, but a lot of these kids don't go to school, so we're making sure that the whole family is dewormed. Most of these children don't eat well, they don't do well in school because they're not well fed at home, and these vitamins, amazingly, 60-day supply of vitamins makes a huge difference in children who are micronutriently malnourished.
Hi, we're in a home of Marta y Clemente outside of Antigua. We've traveled about an hour to get here and walked about 20 minutes down a hillside, really steep hillside. This family has 3 children. There's no electricity in this home. There's no running water. They have to go about 3 kilometers down the hill to a river to get water. Very few resources, no medical care anywhere around here. Not a lot of support. Definitely a challenging life, to say the least. Their diets are largely corn and beans, so no fresh fruits and vegetables, no source of vitamin A, obviously, not a lot of nutrition. Right, so she's a 4-year-old girl, and in the States, a 2.5-year-old would be about the same size, so she's way under height for her age. This is one of the things that we see continuously in countries like Guatemala. We see low birth weight stunting, which is just a small size, which a lot of people will say, oh, they're just small people, is so not true. It's just a result of chronic malnutrition. And whenever you see children that are obviously not the correct size, it's a really good indicator that they're not eating properly. And when you see babies that are born at 3 or 4 pounds, again, it's a strong indicator that it's chronic malnutrition is the problem. All these things are indicators of chronic malnutrition, and then you have to really be worried about a common infection or something like measles or diarrhea being very, very dangerous for those children. Well.